Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
How
How
are
are
you?
you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm fine.
Great. So let's start with an introduction about yourself. And before we do that, I'll just introduce myself. So I'm Arya and I'm from Mumbai. And I'm currently doing a psychology degree. And I've joined Clapingo as a teacher to work part time and also try to understand whether teaching is something that I like. And so that's it about me. Let's move on to you. You tell me where you're from, what you're currently doing, and you can also tell me why you joined Clappingo.
My name is Rishik. I'm from Chennai.
Mm-hmm.
My hobbies are to draw, to watch TV, read stories, and I like to skate.
Mm-hmm.
The main reason I have joined Clapingo is to improve my vocabulary skills and also my speaking skills.
Okay, so you're looking for some confidence building and improving your fluency. Is that right?
Yeah,
Okay, great. And what are you currently doing?
I'm studying in 10th grade.
Okay, great. So busy year this year.
Yeah,
Okay, great. So, before we just get started, I usually like to ask the student if they want to do the particular session topic that's given, or if you want to have a general conversation, and I can ask you a series of questions and you can answer them, or do you want to do the session topic?
I'm okay with anything.
Okay, great. So, shall we just have a general discussion? And because I just did the session before this, I had the same topic. So, it's not
Okay.
something I'm very excited about because I'm doing it again. So, shall we just have a general conversation? Is that okay with you?
Okay.
Okay, great. So, the first thing that I'd like to ask is how are you finding 10th grade? I know that, this is not a question everyone likes to answer, but how are you
Yeah.
doing? Are you doing okay? Are you sailing through it, or are you finding it a little tough? What's your state right now?
I'm doing good. It's not very hard and it's not very easy.
Hmm.
It's
Just manage.
yeah, it's in the middle,
Mhm.
average. But
Okay.
few, it's easy for me learning, like science and maths. It's easy for me. Other
Yeah.
than that, yeah, it's just little tough.
Yeah. So are you in CBSE, ICSE, IG? Which board are you on?
State board.
Okay, you're in state board. Okay. So I know the state board corrections all across India are very hard, even though, the portion might seem a little easier than, say, ICSE, but the corrections are very hard. At
Yeah.
least that's how it was in Maharashtra. So I was in ICSE, but I used to
Oh,
always see my state board friends say, your portion might be tougher, but our scoring is much tougher than yours. And that is true. So I can understand why it's a little scary. Okay, because I'm in second year right now, so 10th grade was not very far behind. It's pretty recent. So, that's what like everyone says, oh, 10th grade is so tough, but once only after you're done with it, like my advice would say, don't worry about it so much, and it's just going to pass because in 10th grade it feels like it's the end of the world.
yeah.
But the second it gets over, you'll just worry. Why was I so scared? There was literally nothing about 10th grade that was so scary. And it's just the hype that parents create and teachers create. So are you also facing that?
Well, my family members and relatives, friends, they say, um, strive hard this year and you will be happier the next year.
Mm.
But my parents are telling that we are not going to tell that only 10th year it is going to be hard.
Mm.
Every year is going to be hard. It depends on you.
Yeah.
So how you learn and it's up to you.
Yeah.
They
This is
say while you're learning, enjoy. That's all.
correct. Yeah, because this year really makes you understand whether you want to do a particular subject. Is that something you'd like? And it also kind of sets the tone on how you study because the way you study is very important.
Yeah.
So if you kind of figure out what ways you prefer to study in? Do you prefer to study at night, day, or do you prefer to study? Like, I always like to prepare 6 months in advance, but my brother used to study one day before the exam. So it's a lot of self realization that happens
Yeah.
in 10th grade. So have you had any realizations about yourself and your study patterns or anything like that?
I think most of the time I study late nights. I'm awake till I think it's 1 o'clock or like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not early morning
Not an early bird.
guy, so
Mm.
I study till late nights, and I I like to write while studying. It just stays there in the mind.
Mm.
So I like to write while
Yeah.
studying.
So you like to make notes while studying.
Yeah.
That's also something I preferred. So I had four sets of notes because every time I wanted to write, I would write it again.
Okay.
So after a point, my parents just said, take a whiteboard and write it on that if you want. You can't keep wasting paper. So that's something I realized, and I changed the way I studied in 12th standard. So yeah, so I think we both relate on that level. So that's great. And other than all of, board exam pressure and all of that, what are you doing to, keep yourself calm and composed? Is there anything you're doing? Are you taking out time for yourself?
Um, for a few minutes, I listen to music, and most of the time, not most of the time, I think it's completely. I like to draw and paint.
Hmm. So that is your self-care, your me time that you like to
Yeah.
enjoy. Yeah. Because what happens is, in the pressure of 10th grade, a lot of us tend to lose out on our hobbies. And that is one
Yeah.
thing that I also did because I had 11 subjects in school, and I
11.
used 11 subjects. Yeah. And I used to come back from school at 4 o'clock, and I had tuitions, and I had prelims in the tuitions, and it used
Oh,
to be one never ending thing. And I used to not like science, and I had three subjects of science and math. So I used
okay.
to keep stressing about science. And in between all of that, I gave up on sports and I gave up on music and all of that. So that's why whenever I meet anyone who's in 10th grade, I always say that, whatever happens, just preserve that part of you. So I think
Okay.
from whatever you're saying, I think you're doing that. So it seems like you're on the right path.
Hmm.
And what else are you interested in? You said you like cricket, right?
No,
Okay, no,
I
I
like to
think,
play.
okay, you like to play cricket. Okay. So are you also do you go for coaching or do you do anything like that or just casual
No,
play?
it's a casual play with my friends.
Okay, great. And what are the most dreaded question is, what are your plans for the future? Have you thought about anything? Or do you have an idea of what you don't want to do? That was my thing. I didn't know what I wanted to do till around 12th grade, but I knew what I don't want to do. I knew I didn't want to do science, and my
Okay.
brother was studying for CA. So I said I knew I didn't want to do CA. So I did a lot of elimination and I found what I like, which is psychology. So have you thought about what you're going to do later or what's your plan?
I am completely different from your way of thinking. I like science, maths,
Yeah.
and I am planning on becoming a programmer.
Hmm.
If not a programmer, I am aiming for to be an artist.
Oh, wow. So you also want to take up art as a potential career.
Yeah.
Great. So what kind of drawing or what kind of art are you into?
Um, Usually I draw anime faces and poses. In rare occasions, I draw a few landscapes, and yeah, those are the two things.
Mm.
Other than that, I'm not drawing anything.
Okay, so what's your preferred medium? Do you like color pencils or do you like watercolors? What is your interest?
For just to draw the sketch, I use different shades of pencils. For
Mm-hmm.
painting, I like watercolors and
Mm-hmm.
poster colors.
Okay, great. So with all of that, we're also coming towards the end of our session. And I'm sure you're wondering, why did she ask me such a random set of questions? We started from one thing, and I asked you what are your favorite paid medias of art. And the
Yeah.
reason why I did that is because I wanted to check if you're able to think on your feet and think quickly, because that's what is going to happen. So if you have an admission test or you have something, they're not going to ask you a set list of things.
Yeah.
So if you saw, I was picking up from whatever you were asked, or you were answering. So you said something, and I picked up one part of that, and I questioned you about that. And because you mentioned that you're in 10th grade and you will be having, a lot of admission interviews and internship interviews, which is why I also changed the way I asked you the questions. So I might not ask a working professional questions like this, but I wanted
Yeah.
it to be catered to you, which is why I asked you a random set of questions to see whether you are able to switch from topics fast. You're able to justify the things that you're doing. Sometimes, teachers and admission officers might ask you, why are you doing a particular thing? And why
Yeah.
do they have to check if you're actually really interested in, art? If you just answered, oh, I don't know what I do, I just do something to do some drawing, they say, okay, he's not really interested. That's why I also asked you a wide range of questions to see if you can switch from one topic to another, if you're not thrown off by the question and you're able to tackle the question. So that's a very good thing that you were able to do. You were able to answer all what I asked, and it didn't scare you or anything. You were very casual, you were very okay answering all those questions. So that's a very good thing that I noticed about you. So good job on that. Because
Thank you.
sometimes when they ask us random questions, we say, oh, and you get stuck and you don't know what to answer. So that's
Yeah.
also, that proves that you were confident and you are very sure about what you're doing. So great job on that. And I'm sorry if this sounded like an interview or something, but it wasn't. It was just to, change the topics and change the questions and not
Okay.
talk just about the same things again and again. And I think in terms of suggestions for you, I don't have anything as such. I think you were able to answer everything, but in case you feel like you're not very confident in yourself, which happens sometimes, because we're either converting and translating the language in our head, or we don't know a particular word, or we aren't very confident. Those are a
Yeah.
few reasons why we're not confident. So if you're focusing on building your confidence and not thinking that much while speaking and just speaking confidently, my suggestion would be use Clapingo as like a break also, because it becomes a 20-minute break that you can talk to anyone about
Yeah.
anything, right?
Yeah.
So along with that, along with using it as a break, it will improve your confidence, because sometimes you need someone to tell you, okay, you're on the right path. You're speaking good English. You're not making any mistakes. So sometimes you need to hear it from someone else to have that faith in yourself. So I think you're on the right path. You're doing pretty well. And I would have never joined something like Clapingo in 10th standard. And I would have just focused on my studies. But I'm happy to hear that, you're trying to balance out everything. And you're also speaking fluently. You're able to think on your feet. Asking different questions isn't throwing you off, and you're very calm about it. So that's a very good thing. And I'm sure that all of these skills is definitely going to help you in life. So that's it, I think, for today. I have no suggestions as such, because you're on the right path. And it is just about practice and fluency, and that you'll definitely get once you come regularly, and you'll feel that yourself. So I think there's nothing major that we need to worry about with regards to your English. I think you're on the right path.
Thank you.
Okay, so see you, Rishik. All the best for your exams. Bye bye.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Bye bye.